welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, we are tackling a very iconic anime among the Fate fandom, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works was the second TV adaptation of the Fate Stay Night franchise. The Unlimited Blade Works in the name refers to a specific route in Type Moon's original visual novel. We'll get into the history of this show a little later, but before we get any further, make sure to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss any updates. Now without further ado, let's get it. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works first aired on Tokyo MX on October 4th, 2014, and ran until June 27, 2015, spanning two separate cours, or seasons. This adaptation was produced by Ufotable and boasted a high rating among critics. Unlike the 2006 Fate Stay Night adaptation, where the studio took some liberties, the original creators at Type Moon had more direct involvement this time, ensuring that the story closely followed the visual novel's Unlimited Blade Works route. Although many fans and critics praised the animation quality and faithfulness to the source, some viewers felt it overshadowed the earlier anime adaptation and introduced debates about which version is more canon. The high acclaim of the other Fate projects like Fate Zero and the Heaven's Feel film trilogy has further fueled the discussion of how Unlimited Blade Works fits into the overall Fate storyline. Unlike an entirely original anime, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works was adapted directly from Kinoko Nasu's original visual novel, split over 2 seasons, totaling 26 episodes. So let's get into the story. Season 1. In Fuyuki City, a young mage named Rin Tosaka wakes up from a dream of parting ways with her father, Tokiomi.
Please come home soon, Father.
She heads to school earlier than needed, thanks to her tampered clock, and crosses paths with several classmates, including the helpful Shiro Emiya. That same afternoon, Rin performs a summoning ritual to call forth the servant Archer, intended for the upcoming 5th Holy Grail War. Archer, who has lost his memories, quickly proves both capable and aloof, frustrating Rin. Shortly afterward, she senses another servant on school grounds, a lethal lancer who fatally wounds Shiro when he stumbles upon the fight. Feeling guilty, Rin revives Shiro with a precious pendant. Fearing Lancer's master will detect that Shiro still lives, she races to rescue him. But the events escalate when Shiro summons his own servant, the Knight Saber, who fends off Lancer's second attack. Shiro's life then changes abruptly. Though naive about magecraft, he becomes an official participant in the Holy Grail War. At school, he carries on with his routine of helping others, fixing heaters, and silently caring for his friend Sakura. Eventually, he encounters a mysterious girl named Iliasville von Einsburn, who warns him to prepare for the war. That evening, Lancer corners him again, leading to a desperate moment in the shed behind his house. Summoning Saber, he manages to avoid certain death, and soon afterward, Rin appears, revealing that she too is a master, which creates an uneasy alliance between them. Seeking clarity, Rin brings Shiro to Kirei Kotamine, the overseer of the war. He explains the nature and rules of the conflict. 7 masters summon 7 servants, legendary spirits who fight until only one pair remains. That victor may claim the Holy Grail, which supposedly grants any wishes. Though reluctant, Shiro agrees to use his newfound powers responsibly, fueled by ideals inherited from his late adoptive father, Kiritsugu Emiya. Shortly after this, the battles unfold. Ilia and her giant servant Berserker launch an ambush.
Okay, go get them, Berserker.
Despite Saber's skill and Archer's potent range attacks, Berserker's noble phantasm, God Hand, lets him revive seemingly without end. Ultimately, Ilia withdraws, leaving the group bodied and exhausted. In the days following, Saber moves in with Shiro. Her presence and unwavering sense of duty clash with Shiro's tendency to risk himself to protect others. Meanwhile, Rin investigates a wave of strange incidents going on in the city. Allegedly, gas leaks that are really the work of another servant, Kasper. Later on, at school, students collapse from drained mana, and both Shiro and Rin realize multiple deadly barriers have been laid out. Suspecting Shinji Mato is behind one, they confront him only to discover his servant is the enigmatic Rider. A brief battle follows, ending when Kasper arrives and slays Rider to seize control of the school's mana source for herself. Suspicion then falls on Kazuki, a teacher living at Ryuru Temple.
We do have a close relationship. Mr. Kazuki has been staying at the temple for the past 3 years or so.
with a woman who is revealed to be Kasper in disguise. Rin and Shiro then attempt a sneak attack on him, but are swiftly overpowered. Shiro only narrowly competes by projecting Archer's dual swords. This newfound ability stuns Rin, confirming Shiro's potential for advanced magecraft despite his limited training. Archer, for his part, grows increasingly cynical. He claims the Holy Grail is meaningless and warns Shiro that idealistic heroism is doomed to fail. Kasper then escalates her plan by kidnapping Shiro at the temple and forcing Saber into a duel with a mysterious servant named Assassin. Archer intervenes, but chooses not to kill Kasper.
My policy is to avoid unnecessary fighting.
Disgusted by Archer's indifference, Shiro accuses him of not caring about innocent lives.
Until we stop her, victims are gonna keep piling up.
And Archer retaliates with a brutal blow. Saber then rescues Shiro and the two return home to rest. During this moment of peace, Rin stays over at Shiro's house, revealing glimpses of her loneliness as a mage. And despite the tension going on between them, they continue their alliance, determined to stop Kasper. However, during an outing in town, Kasper appears holding Shiro's guardian hostage. To save Taiga, Shiro is coerced into using a command seal that halts Saber's attack. The command seals are what the mages use in order to force the servants to do their bidding, and they have a limited number of them. So this was ass for Shiro. Kasper's noble phantasm, Rule Breaker, severs Saber's bond with Shiro, forcing her under Kasper's control. Archer then intervenes only long enough to ensure that Shiro and Rin escape, but Kasper flees with Saber. Regaining consciousness at Rin's home, Shiro discovers the jewel pendant that saved his life, and that Rin, despite her attitude, actually cares about Shiro. Rin, however, believes that Shiro is now helpless without Saber, and she departs with Archer, warning Shiro not to pursue the Holy Grail war anymore. Left alone, bleeding, Shiro decides he can't abandon his ideals, even if it means facing powerful foes without the help of his Saber. Thus, setting the stage for the battles that are soon to come, where old bonds will be tested, new truths revealed, and the line between ally and enemy grows even more unclear, leading us to Season 2. As Shiro returns home, troubled by old memories of the catastrophic fire that forged his desire to be a hero of justice, elsewhere at the church, Kasper imprisons Saber, and Soichiro Kozuki learns she seeks the Lesser Grail hidden within that sanctuary.
I attacked this church in order to obtain the Holy Grail's vessel. Grail's whereabouts remain unknown.
Meanwhile, Rin and Archer arrive to investigate Kirei Kotamine's disappearance. They confront Kasper and Kozuki, only for Archer to betray Rin, pledging himself to Kasper. He allows her to use Rule Breaker on him, stripping Rin of her command seals. Before Kozuki can kill Rin, Shiro intervenes, though Kasper's summoned golems threaten both of them. Archer, however, insists Kasper spares them as part of his conditions for joining her. On their way home, Shiro then reassures a shaken Rin, returning her red jewel pendant, and then he confesses love for her, and she thanks him for saving her.
To come clean with you, I've always adored and watched you from a distance. When I finally got around to talking to you, I fell for you even more.
Thanks for coming to my rescue. I'm so happy you saved me.
Despite Archer's betrayal, Shiro and Rin remain determined to defeat Kasper. They decide to approach Ilia for help, since Archer once revealed that her berserker is the Greek hero Hercules. Meanwhile, Kasper recalls her ill-fated first summoning by the mage Atrum Galeasta, who planned to kill her rather than risk her power. She then later survived an encounter with Lancer, but was left wounded. Saved by Kozuki, Kasper accepted him as her new master. As Shiro and Rin make their way to Ilia's villa, Shinji and Gilgamesh invade ahead of them. Gilgamesh reveals Ilia's heart is the Lesser Grail, then slaughters her maids in cold blood. Ilia then summons Berserker to fight back. Once Shiro and Rin arrive, Gilgamesh systematically uses Gate of Babylon to deplete Berserker's many lives granted by God Hand. Even in death, Berserker tries to protect Ilia, and she dies believing he remains by her side. Shiro and Rin bury Ilia and argue about Shiro's self-sacrificing ideals. Nevertheless, afterward, they confirm that stopping Kasper is their #1 priority and are aided by Lancer's proposal to join forces. Archer discovers that Kozuki is helping Kasper return to her original era using the Holy Grail. Shiro, Rin, and Lancer then storm the church. Lancer duels Archer, while Shiro and Rin fight Kasper and Kozuki. Archer abruptly kills Castor, prompting a dying Castor to admit her wish had been granted through Kazuki's devotion. Archer then dispatches Kazuki as well, revealing he has always intended to kill Shiro himself. Saber, nearly powerless, tries defending Shiro but is overpowered. Rin forms a new pact with Saber, restoring her strength, and in response, Archer deploys Unlimited Blade Works, a wasteland of infinite swords. He captures Rin and withdraws, challenging Shiro to face him at Ilya's villa. Shiro, Saber, and Lancer hurry to rescue Rin. At the villa, Kirei Kotomine reveals himself as Lancer's true master and murderer of Rin's father. He uses a command seal to force Lancer to unalive himself, but Lancer kills Kirei in return and frees Rin, setting the building on fire. Archer appears and unmasks his true identity. He is Shiro from a future timeline.
That is who I am. The heroic spirit Emiya.
Once an idealistic hero, eventually became disillusioned by the endless violence that he saw. Then they clash fiercely, Archer's blades pummeling Shiro until Avalon, the scabbard hidden within Shiro, heals him. Gilgamesh intervenes, striking Archer down with sword fire from the Gate of Babylon. Wounded, Archer uses his last strength to protect Shiro. Gilgamesh departs, having implanted Ilya's lesser grail heart in Shinji. Shiro, Rin, and Saber decide to destroy the corrupted Holy Grail once again. Because Saber can only wield Excalibur once, Rin performs a ritual transferring her magic crest to Shiro, enabling him to master Unlimited Blade Works. Back at the temple, Shinji's body merges with a mass of curses. Saber battles a fading assassin, defeating him in one last duel, while Gilgamesh tries subduing the black monstrosity with his most powerful noble phantasm contained in the Gate of Babylon, the Sword of Rupture. But Rin seizes Shinji, allowing Saber to annihilate the Grail at the cost of her existence. Freed, Shiro faces Gilgamesh alone. Calling forth Unlimited Blade Works, he cuts through Gilgamesh's attacks. Gilgamesh's arm is severed and a Grail portal opens, dragging him in. Archer, barely alive, delivers a final shot to finish Gilgamesh. In the aftermath, Shiro and Rin walk away together. 2 years later, they study at the Mages Association in London, sharing an apartment. Though still wrestling with how to follow his ideals without repeating Archer's grim fate, Shiro declines an official Mages Association post. Rin vows to stay by his side, and elsewhere, Archer contemplates his regrets within his reality marble, concluding that despite how it all ended, he was never truly wrong to believe in saving others. And that's the end of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.